Sorry about that. I've took the phone off the hook and there's a woman speaking and it says I I can get a refund on some loan that I've had over the last 10 years and it's an automatic oh it's gone now, automatic call, and they're so irritating. They are pet hate. I've tried stopping them but they still keep coming through. Where was I? Oh, I know. I got this £8,000 and I could put it into stock. And that's what I did. I not only put it into stock, I bought the next door's house. And how I did that was there was an old couple next door, and because the road was getting very busy and there was more and more shops, and they didn't like it. So I got on really well with them, and I used to do odd jobs for them, and they said to me, "Oh, it would be really nice if we had got our front garden back," because years previous, I think all those shops had front gardens, and they widened the road and they took them, so they was on the pavement then. The doors were on the pavement. And he said, "I wish I could find a place that was a bit quieter." And he said, "I haven't got a bathroom. It's we haven't had a bathroom for 60 years." So what I did, I took a gamble. I went and I bought a house, and I think it was something like 2,250 in a nice quiet area, and about 5 minutes, 10 minutes walk at the most from where they were. So it was in the same area, but it was a back street, and it had a front garden and a back garden, and it was a terraced house again, and a lot of elderly people lived in that area. And I spent some £500 on putting a bathroom in, and I said to them, "Look, I think I may have a solution to your problem, and come and have a look." And I took them down to this house, and I showed them it, and I said, "I'll put carpets and curtains in, and I will move you so you don't have any stress, any bother with furniture moving and all that kind of stuff." And I said, "And I will give you this house, and I'll give you £750 as well." So they go, "Where's the front garden? And there's a bathroom, and you would take care of all the legal stuff and the moving expenses and everything, and we would then get £750 on top." I said, "Yeah." So that had cost me two and a quarter, two and three quarters, that cost me £3,500. And I said, "Are you happy with that?" Because I said, you could go to a estate agent, you could try and sell your house, and then you could try and buy another one, and then, because it would be a lot cheaper, and then renovate it yourself. And they go, "No, we're not." You got to remember, they was in their 70s. They wanted something easy. They wanted somebody else to do it, and I was the person, and it was a win-win situation, because they got their new house, they got their bathroom, they got the front garden, they got all new carpets and curtains, and they got some cash. And in return, I got the property next door. Now, I knew with a tenant in, that was worth £8,000. Without a tenant, it might have been worth, I don't know, £6,000. I'd just paid, what, 3.5 for it. But I had to take the chance on everything. Anyway, they agreed, and that's fine. we moved them, and they was happy, and we was happy, and then we decided to renovate the shop again. We had a 2 up 2 down, 4 rooms full of stock, so we shifted it to next door. We closed the shop for a week. We knocked all the walls out, and within a week we was back trading. Super little shop that was, absolutely great. And then we sold the next door. We was thinking about, shall we make it bigger? But I had an opportunity to sell the next door to somebody who was doing a delicatessen, and they offered me £6,000. They were happy because then they could sell on and make a lease. They could sell on for £8,000 if they wanted to. If not, they'd got a ready-made opportunity, because it was in a row of shops. So I was happy. That's fine. Everybody was happy. We kept the shop another year, and we grew and grew and grew, and we couldn't get any more people into that shop. It was jam-packed. We'd got a bus stop at the front of us, and we filled that bus stop with boxes and boxes every single day. We used to be pricing goods up in the bus stop, and we was having a little bit of problem with the council because we was blocking the pavement and the bus stop. And anyway, an opportunity came along across the other side of Peterborough, which was about 5 miles away, in a new precinct, and there was a shop there which was 5 times the size. So we said, okay, we think we'll have that. So we decided that's what we would do. We would go into that one. It's far enough away in those days. 5 miles was a long, long way, and for that type of shop, there was no problem. So we sold the shop, we put it up for sale, and we had quite a few people after it. And there was a couple came along, and it was a win-win situation for them. She wanted a shop. She loved our shop, and she wanted that. And he'd got to get out of his premises because he'd got a taxi company, and he could use the top back room for a taxi office. So again, it was a win-win situation. He could buy the premises and a business and run his business from there, and she could have business. So we sold that for £10,000 plus the stock, and everything was great. We moved into the new premises, and they took over our old premises and used it for their 2 businesses. We then ran those premises, which was 5 times the size, in a new shopping centre for about 6 years there. But after something like 4 years, another shop came for sale, a big Co-op supermarket on the outskirts, on the opposite side of town. So we wanted a warehouse, and initially I went to look at it as a warehouse, and as soon as I saw it, and there was a school opposite, and there was thousands of kids, well, thousands, there was a lot of kids, maybe a few hundred, but not thousands. So it all of a sudden dawned on us, we shouldn't have this as a warehouse, but we should have it as a shop. And everybody who come to see that shop as we was renovating it goes, you'll never, ever in a million years make a go of this, selling baby products. It's in a village on the outskirts of Peterborough, and it was enormous. It was like 5,000 square foot. And the premises that we had was 2,000, and it was just seemed enormous. And how would we fill it? And everybody said, no, you'll go bust on this. It won't work. Well, it did work. There was a big car park. that used to get full, and so we had two shops, one in the centre, one in the village, and then somebody persuaded us. That was, by then our building company was going very well, and we was building other shops. So we built 6 shops in another town that we was going to rent out. And as soon as the tenants found out that Marville Properties, the builders, actually were the same people who owned Kiddie Care, they go, "Oh, we really must have a Kiddie Care. We'll have a Kiddie Care. It'd be great." So what did we do? We opened another Kiddie Care. So anyway, there was all going all right. There was the 3 going, but we were spinning plates. We were juggling. We was racing from one to another, and the stock movements would be at night. It all used to come into the big shop, and then it'd be distributed to the 2 smaller shops, and we were just working so much. Anyway, we decided we would sell the small shop, which we did, and we sold that as a lease as a going concern for £10,000, and then we decided to sell the larger shop lease, and we sold that for £100,000 plus the stock, and everybody was absolutely fine. Everybody was happy, and then we concentrated, all of us concentrated on one shop, and that grew and grew and grew, and we then got a warehouse to feed that, and then we decided it was too small, so we tried to get out, and the council says no. No, we tried to build onto it, double the size. The council said no. We couldn't find any other premises. Anyway, it was a conservation area, and we painted the shop with a big mural with a big Noah's Ark and all the animals, and we put flags up, and the council went absolutely bonkers. They were furious, and all the residents around there was complaining because it's a nice village, conservation area, and it looked terrific. It did. It looked like wow, how can I explain it? It looked like a boat, really. Noah's Ark, really, because it was a flat roof, and the roof came up, it curved, and there was flags all over it. So they said they couldn't do anything about it, but they didn't like it, and I kept putting applications in to double the size, and they kept saying no. So in the end, I rang them and I said, "Look, we've now got 15 people working in this shop. I need to extend it. Can't find anywhere else. Would you object? Because you will not make a decision on this." They kept delaying the decision, delaying it, and they wouldn't tell me why. And I didn't know that nowadays, well, I'll just get a solicitor onto it, and they've got a time limit. And anyway, so I said one day, I haven't not had a decision, but I would like to paint or spray the car park, which is a big car park, red, white and blue. And they go, "Yeah, but you wouldn't do that." And I go, "I'm going to do it." And they said, no. I said, "Can I do it?" I said, is there any law to stop me from doing it?" And they go, "But you wouldn't do it." I said, "I will do it. I'm going to go and get the paint this afternoon and the sprayer, and I will spray it red, white and blue." I said, "I think I can try and make a flag of it." So I said, I'll try and make it as nice as possible, but that's all of that car park. That's what it will be. And they go, "No, you can't." And I said, "I can, I will, unless you tell me I'm doing something against the law." And they said, reluctantly, they said, "Well, it's not against the law, but don't do it. Let's just look at your application." And the application went through, and we doubled the size of that business. And do you know, we never moved from it. There was scaffolding round, and they built a new front, and we moved into the back, and then we moved into the front, and they built a new back, and they built a top. And for a year there was scaffolding around it, and there was lights hanging all over the place, and people came into a building site, and this was in 1986, something like that, and we took £1 million from that village shop in 1986. £1 million. Well, that's fine. A couple of years later, we had problems again, and the problems just grew. The village came to a standstill every Saturday. There was cars trying to get in, there was cars trying to get out, and it was just phenomenal. We were just exhausted. On a Saturday night, we used to go to the seaside, which was about an hour away, Hunstanton. So we had a caravan down there, and we used to go down there, and Marilyn still did the bookwork at the weekends, and I used to go to a wholesaler down there to buy toys. So it's a goal within a goal. We could get to the seaside, we may have a walk along the beach, but we'd come back with a car full of crammed full of stock, and Marilyn will have done the bookwork. And maybe 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock on the Sunday afternoon, we'd have a walk on the beach. And Saturday night, that's what I was getting at. Saturday night, we used to finish the shop about 6, 7 o'clock, and then we would go straight to the seaside. I would have to stop halfway. After half an hour of driving, I couldn't see the road. I was that tired. My eyes was just go, and I would have to have about 15, 20 minutes rest. I couldn't see the road, and that's how tired we were. Now, that was when I was in my 30s. Now I'm in my 60s. I could get in my camper now, and I could 10 o'clock at night, I could go from here. I could drive all night to Scotland, 7 hours. I have no problem. That's how tired we was in those days. Anyway, we found a big showroom just outside the village, and that had been built for a car showroom that never was used, and there was 3 acres of land behind it, and I did a deal. I bought the showroom and bought the land at the same day, and then we built a 30,000 square foot building. No, the building was there. I just put a mezzanine floor in and made it 30,000 square foot. A year later, I put another 20,000 on the back. A year later, I put another 20,000 on the back of that. We had 5 units altogether, and it was the biggest independent nursery business in the country. Then in 2005 I bought 6 acres of land, and then I designed, and we started to build a mega store, the biggest store in Europe, and that was 230 or 240,000 square foot altogether. There's a warehouse for picking and packing, and we had the internet, and 60,000 square foot of showroom and offices, and we ended up with 140 people working in that shop. Anyway, that's another story, and I hope you've enjoyed and got some information and some inspiration from this session, and hopefully I'll see you again for a third session at some time. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now. Sorry about that. I've took the phone off the hook, and there's a woman speaking, and it says I can get a refund on some loan that I've had over the last 10 years, and it's an automatic it's gone now, automatic call, and they're I not only put it into stock, I bought the next door's house. And how I did that was, there was an old couple next door, and because the road was getting very busy and there was more and more irritating, they are, pet hate. I've tried stopping them, but they still keep coming through. Where was I? Oh, I know. I got this £8,000, and I could put it into stock, and that's what I did. And they widened the road and they took them, so there was on the pavement then. The doors were on the pavement. And he said, I wish I could find a place that was a bit quieter. And he said, I haven't got a bathroom. We haven't had a bathroom for 60 years. So what I did, I took a gamble at shops, and they didn't like it. So I got on really, really well with them, and I used to do odd jobs for them. And they said to me, oh, it would be really nice if we had got our front garden back, because years previous, I think all those shops had front gardens.